One Swiss company has quietly sold over 50 of these giant casting machines to 4 of the 10 largest car makers on Earth. None of them carry Tesla's brand. Hold on to that, because the title we are testing today says Tesla's Giga press just became the industry standard and that every automaker knows it. And part of that is fair. This technique really is spreading fast. The momentum is real, and it is one of the biggest shifts in how cars get built in a generation. But the title makes 2 universal-sized claims, and universal claims are the easiest kind to break. There is a word doing all the damage here, and the word is every. In logic, every is the most fragile thing you can put in a sentence, because it takes exactly one counterexample to end it. So that is what we are hunting for today. We are going to call it the exception. Because if even one serious car maker looked hard at this and said no, then every collapses, and so does the idea that this is a settled standard. And there is an exception. A big one. If you like this kind of careful teardown, subscribing costs you nothing, and it quietly makes sure the next one reaches you. Start with what the technique actually is, quickly, because we covered it before and it still matters. Instead of stamping and welding 70 to 120 separate steel parts into the back of a car, you inject molten aluminum into a house-sized mold and pull out one big casting a couple of minutes later. That part is real and genuinely powerful. Now, the distinction this entire title depends on. There is a machine, and there is a technique, and they are not the same thing. Giga press is a brand name. It belongs to one specific Italian supplier, the one Tesla buys from. The generic technique, the thing everyone is actually adopting, is called Megacasting, or Gigacasting, or large format casting. So when someone says a rival installed a Giga press, that is like saying every tissue is a Kleenex. It sounds right, and it is wrong. And that single confusion is the first crack in the whole claim, because the title puts a specific brand name where a generic technique belongs. Next, that word just, as in it just became the standard, that implies a moment, a switch that flipped. There was no switch. This has been a slow, messy, multi-year arms race. The Swiss supplier from the cold open rolled out its biggest machines back in 2021. One Japanese giant cast its first prototype in 2022, and it took a full day just to swap the mold. Another maker filed a trademark for its own casting brand in 2023. And the mass production targets scattered across the calendar are still landing anywhere from 2024 out into the 2030s. So there is really no single day this became anything, and no clean before and after. Just became compresses a decade-long migration, one that is still visibly unfinished, into an overnight event. The honest grade on that word is misleading. What is really happening is a gradual, uneven adoption curve that different companies are climbing at wildly different speeds, and some are not climbing at all. So, is Tesla's specific machine the standard? No. And this is where the numbers turn against the title hard. Look at who actually supplies these machines. That Swiss company alone has sold more than 50 of them, serving 4 of the 10 biggest automakers in the world, with locking forces that dwarf a small building. A Japanese supplier built a 9,000-ton machine aimed straight at its home market's giants. Another is designing machines scaling past 12,000 tons. And an American tooling specialist got bought outright, which we will come back to. Here is the punchline, and it is the one the title cannot absorb. Of the car makers actually adopting this technique, most are buying someone else's machine, not Tesla's. The specific press in the title is not the industry standard. It is one contested option in a crowded, cutthroat market for enormous, wildly expensive machines. Being first and being famous is genuinely impressive, but it is not the same as being the standard, and the supplier scoreboard makes that difference impossible to miss. Now let us actually define the word standard, because the title leans its whole weight on it. A real industry standard, think of the 12-volt battery or the diagnostic port every mechanic can plug into, has 3 traits. It is interoperable, meaning many suppliers can provide it and you can swap one for another. There is broad agreement on the underlying science, and there is a shared repair network anyone can use. Large format casting currently fails all 3. Take just the first one. These machines are house-sized, weigh over 1,000 tons, need special reinforced foundations, and come from a tiny handful of makers. If your giant press suffers a catastrophic failure, you cannot call a second supplier and swap in a generic replacement. You are tethered to that one manufacturer, maybe for the life of the factory. That is the opposite of interoperable. So even setting the brand name aside, the technique itself does not yet behave like a standard. It behaves like a fleet of custom, proprietary, one-of-a-kind installations. The second test, agreement on the science, fails too. Tesla uses one family of aluminum alloy. European makers use a different mixture tuned for different tolerances. And some Chinese makers are experimenting with a semi-solid metal slurry, a genuinely different physical process, to fight the defects that plague ordinary casting. There is no agreed recipe. Everyone is still arguing about the metallurgy. And then there is the tell that gives the whole game away. When a technology is truly becoming a shared standard, companies pool it. When it is a competitive weapon, they buy it and lock it up. In late 2023, General Motors did exactly the second thing. It acquired the American tooling supplier that had helped Tesla speed up its development, paid an estimated $80 to $100 million, brought it fully in-house for a low-volume Cadillac, and walled it off from everyone else. You do not buy and hide a standard, you buy and hide a weapon. That single move tells you how the industry actually sees this. Which brings us to the exception: the whole title cannot survive. One of the largest, most respected car makers on the planet looked hard at Gigacasting for its next-generation platform, ran the full economics, and deliberately said no. That maker is BMW. And this was not a gut call by someone who did not understand the technology. The executive who runs its production came up through forming and foundry engineering. He knows casting from the inside, which is exactly what makes the rejection land. BMW's reasoning came down to two things. First, recycling. Those big specialty aluminum castings are hard to feed back into a clean recycling loop, while steel can be melted and reused almost endlessly, and BMW is chasing aggressive recycled content targets. Second, lifecycle cost. When they added up the enormous machine spend, the defect rates during ramp-up, and the recycling problem, advanced high-strength steel simply won for their goals. One credible, expert, top-tier maker evaluated this and walked away. That is the counterexample. And a single counterexample is all it takes to kill the word every. And here is the thing about universal claims. They do not just die from one exception, they get buried under several, because BMW is not alone. Tesla itself, the company that supposedly proved this is the future, quietly walked back its most ambitious version in May 2024. It had promised to cast an entire underbody as one continuous piece, then reportedly abandoned that and reverted to a three-piece method. Be precise. That is reported, not officially confirmed, and it is a retreat from the extreme single-piece form, not an exit from casting. Tesla still casts, but the pioneer capping how far it will go is itself an exception to every automaker is all in. Then add Volkswagen, Europe's largest car group, which pushed its flagship large casting project all the way back to 2032 and prioritized older platforms instead. So the list of makers who are not fully committed already includes the very inventor of the hype and the single biggest car group on the continent. Every is not surviving that. Now, in fairness, let us build the strongest possible case for the title, because it is not empty. The economics really are staggering. One Japanese maker showed it could turn an 86-part rear assembly into a single casting in about 3 minutes. Another consolidated well over 80 parts and deleted more than 1,000 welds on one model. One European maker estimates the technique can cut the landed cost of a structure by up to 35% by its own reckoning. Numbers like that force every serious company to at least evaluate it. And the single scariest objection, the fear that any fender bender totals the car, took a real hit recently. A major independent risk lab spent 2 years crash testing a Gigacast car and found that when the part is designed with proper cut lines, these repairs can actually come out cheaper than fixing an equivalent steel structure by a couple of £1,000s per repair. So the momentum is real, and the worst fear about it has been at least partly answered. This is why the technique is powerful and spreading, and why the title feels true. But powerful and spreading is not the same as universal and standard. And here is why the gap holds. The capital and yield trap is brutal. A single one of these presses runs into the millions, needs a purpose-built foundation, and when you inject 200 kilograms of molten metal in milliseconds, a single hidden bubble or crack scraps the whole part. Fail a steel stamping and you lose $10 of sheet metal. Fail a giant casting and you lose the entire back third of a car. Then there is inflexibility. Change the design even slightly, and you may have to forge an entirely new, multi-million-dollar mold, which is exactly the trap that pushed Tesla off the single-piece version. And even that good repair news comes with fine print. It only holds with designed cut lines, approved shops, and special scanning gear that most independent body shops simply do not have. So this is an optimization for high-volume, unchanging designs. It is a fantastic tool for the right job and the wrong one for plenty of others, which is precisely why a capable maker can look at it and rationally decline. So here is the verdict, one piece at a time. Tesla's Giga press, false. The machine belongs to an Italian supplier, and most adopters buy from someone else entirely. Just became. Misleading. This is a decade-long migration that is still unfinished. the industry standard. Overstated, the trend is real, but the technique fails every actual test of a standard, from interoperability to shared repair, and every automaker knows it. False, and decisively so. One credible maker, BMW, studied it and said no, and the Pioneer and Europe's biggest group both pulled back. Add it up, and the title survives only as this. A powerful, fast-spreading technique that most of the industry is exploring, one company made famous, and not one of them has made universal. Step back and look at the shape of the real story. The title wants something clean and total. One machine, one company, everybody falling into line. What actually exists is a fractured arms race. Several rival machine makers on different continents, no agreed recipe for the metal, no shared repair network, and at least one major car maker that studied this closely and walked away. The word every is almost always a tell. It is the mark of a story that never went looking for its own exceptions. And the honest version does not need every. Give the technique full credit. It may be the most important shift in how cars are built in 50 years, and it is still spreading. But a trend is not a standard, and most is not all. So here is the question worth chewing on. If a company as capable as BMW can rationally say no, is gigacasting really the future of all cars, or just the right tool for some and the wrong tool for others? And that leads somewhere strange. Everyone is fighting over these giant machines, so who actually builds them? And why can only a tiny handful of factories on Earth make the very biggest ones? That is the one we open next. Until then, when a story tells you everyone agrees, go find the person who does not.